Again, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. For everybody here that's listening in, we're really excited to be joined by the team that's been working alongside Avalanche for a while now and really helping to build out the ecosystem on the Avalanche blockchain. So, really excited to have the Snowball team here to talk to us a little bit about their protocol and everything they have going on, and introduce their platform to the rest of our audience here. So. As we jump in here, wanted to kind of do a quick round of intros. I'm Kyle from Ava Labs. Really excited here to kick off this conversation with the team. So wanted to introduce some of our guests and let them talk a little bit about themselves and what they're doing here with Snowball. So Jomari, why don't we get started with you? If you want to introduce yourself and your background and how you got started with Snowball. Hey, Jomari, I think you might still be on mute. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, good day.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. We got all three speakers here. So go ahead, Jomari, and just hop off mute.
Yes, good day. This is Jomari Peterson. I tell people, good way, remember that is Jomari goes Safari Ferrari. Jomari.
Hello. Can people hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
And I'm one of the core strategists for Snowball. Been really excited about building. Used to be one of the co-founders of the Quantum Resistant Ledger. Also worked on a couple of blockchain-based games. And I really love governance and DAOs and the DeFi space in general. So really just was excited to bring all that experience to Avalanche and help build out what is, I believe, the most fantastic decentralized network yet.
Awesome, that's great. And what is your particular role and kind of duties on the team here to build out Snowball?
Yeah, my role is I support on the smart contract development, the governance, on the kind of I helped out with a lot of the governance and kind of economic stuff as we moving forward, and I also provide support on the business dev partnerships. I try to fulfill in any box that I have a little bit of a skill set in, because kind of done from civil engineering to an MBA to engineering and public policy, self-taught coding. So I cover the gamut.
Awesome. Well, glad to have you here, and thanks for joining us. Why don't we move on to the two co-founders here, 8-Bit Giraffe and Big Wampa. 8-Bit, why don't you give us a little intro on yourself?
Sure. Hey everyone, my name is 8-Bit Giraffe. You can also call me Case. I got into Avalanche DeFi back in March. Big Wampa and the Abominable Sasquatch invited me to join Snowball to start it up. And, I'd been in the space since, in the DeFi space since around October, and really had never gone too deep into it. The limiting factor for me was just it was really expensive, and Ethereum seemed like this big. There were a lot of barriers to entry, in that gas fees were very high, et cetera, and so Avalanche was really, the perfect place to just dive in, and I was hooked almost immediately. Right now at Snowball, I'm doing a lot of our core business and marketing. And so those are my primary areas at Snowball. And I oversee a lot of what goes on in those arenas at Snowball. And I'm excited to be here today and to talk more about Snowball and, answer any questions that you guys have.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
By the way, Big Wampa is saying that he might not be able to hear us.
Oh, okay. Let me see if
he's still having some issues, but
Joining us.
He says he may have a workaround.
I think we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Perfect.
Big Wampa, if you can hear us now, go ahead and introduce yourself as well.
Yeah, if you guys can hear me, I have a workaround. It appears Twitter Spaces is not Android compatible, at least not with my phone. So I can speak on one device and listen on another.
That will work. That will
So
work. Thank you
if you
for
guys
working
can
that
hear me
out.
fine, I'm happy to join the conversation and help answer any questions.
Great. Can you introduce yourself and your role with the Snowball team to kick things off? All right, he might be having some difficulty still. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. So, really excited to have the Snowball team
Yep.
here.
So
Oh, go ahead.
there does seem to be like a 5 to 10 second delay with me, but I'm one of the co-founders with Abominable Sasquatch, and we founded this project because we had been looking at a lot of the new blockchains that were coming out, doing some research together, and we were very excited about what we were reading about Avalanche.
Well, that was a full complete sentence.
It looks like we lost the connection there. But that's okay. You know, Spaces always has these difficulties. It's one of those platforms that has a lot to fix. So we'll work through it. It's all good. Thank you for the rest of you for joining us, and would love to kind of just jump in, and we'll get to him here in a second. So no worries. So I guess this is a question for Jomari or for 8-Bit. I wanted to talk a little bit kind of how Snowball got started, your goal and positioning, and what you're trying to do within the Avalanche ecosystem. Because I know you have very specific features and very specific things that people can come in and do on your platform. So love to hear a little bit more about kind of your position here within this larger ecosystem.
Yeah, well, I can, field this one right off the bat. So Snowball started on Avalanche. We launched on Avalanche back in the beginning of March, and we started just as an auto compounder. And I would say still that's, our main product at Snowball. And for those of you who don't know what an auto compounder is, basically on other platforms like decentralized exchanges such as Penguin or Trader Joe, if you supply liquidity there, then those platforms give you reward incentives in the form of their token. And what you can do is then once you deposit into those platforms, deposit into Snowball, and we compound the rewards that you get from those platforms and reinvest them back into your underlying, whatever the underlying asset is. And the advantage of this is that your deposits get lumped in with everyone else on the platform who uses Snowball, and it reduces the gas fees. So if you're not this giant whale, then you're not going to be spending inordinate gas fees every single time that you want to compound your rewards. So we launched as that in auto compounder. Quickly after that, we launched a separate product called Stable Vault, and that was basically a fork of Saddle Finance, which, if you're not familiar with, is very similar to Curve Finance on the Ethereum blockchain. And our Stable Vault is an AMM, an automated market maker for stable coins and other stable assets. So the advantage of that is you can have our current Stable Vault includes 4 stable coins, TUSD, USDT.E, DAI.E, and Frax. And you can swap any of those stable coins with each other. So it's basically just like another decentralized exchange like Penguin. The advantage is that it uses a different model than those exchanges. and you get lower fees and lower slippage on your trades. So those are our two main products. I think the goal of Snowball in the future, over time, is to become sort of this DeFi hub on Avalanche. We want to be a place where people can come and satisfy all of their DeFi needs in one website, one protocol. So that's a little bit about our products and where we see ourselves going in the future. I don't know if Jomari, there's more you
I
want to
just
add
want
to
to chime in. One of the things that brought me to Snowball was specifically that they implemented governance as soon as possible in a way that all the community members who hold Snowballs and want to engage in governance could be part of building out the DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization that is Snowball. So in addition to those products, they're supported by what XNob now, which is a system that allows you to lock your snowballs for up to 2 years to gain voting privileges, a boost to the rewards that are provided from Snowball on top of kind of the different strategies we provide, as well as the ability to vote on the allocation of those of Snowball rewards to our existing strategies. So not only do we provide the tools for the DeFi community, we are also trying to make sure that the users of our tools are able to participate in making them more appropriate for their needs. So we grow with the community and go where the community goes and wants to go. So, for example, one thing that happened recently was there was a vote to launch a spin out venture for liquid staking. That was governance based, and that was from and developed and refined by the community. So snowballers from the community are leading that. We've had ones to adjust quorum votes. We've had votes about what the treasury allocation should go, because 30% of the revenues go back to our XNob holders. And I just think it's for Snowball, it's expanding the DeFi space, but not just for ourselves, but for the community, and doing it in a way that matches the desires of our users, which I think is dope.
Yeah, I think building that kind of governance model in from the beginning is something that's very unique and really will help build the community around this platform so that everybody can be involved in how it moves forward and the way that strategies are built in the future. So really love how the governance model was kind of weaved in early on. Where have you seen some interesting communities being built around Snowball, and where can people kind of join in on those conversations and help build the future of the platform?
Yeah, I mean, Snowball, in my opinion, has an amazing community. And when we first launched, one of our core values was community, because it still remains one of our core values. But when we first launched, the protocol was really built and guided by the community. A lot of the core members of the team now were early participants in Snowball, and really, anyone who is interested in joining Snowball can participate. Anyone who shows an active interest can participate. And to do that, the big we use Discord a lot for most of our that's where most of the magic happens, so to speak. You can also find this on Telegram, although that's more of a I would say our work doesn't get done on Telegram. We still have a great community there, but if anyone wants to participate in Snowball, definitely hop on Discord, and we have different channels for each of the different aspects of the protocol, and just be active in the community, and start voicing your opinion, and people will notice that and ask you if you want to participate more.
Yeah, that's great. So definitely, if you're interested in kind of getting involved in the Snowball community and want to be involved in the governance aspect, definitely check out those channels, mainly Discord, and get involved and meet the team. So one of the things that we also wanted to dive into, and we saw this question a lot on Twitter after we announced this Q&A, is, we're seeing, obviously in the last week or so, we're seeing a huge influx of new users to the Avalanche platform and people experiencing DeFi through the Avalanche ecosystem. And obviously, TVL is going up a lot. The daily active users is going up a lot. And it's really exciting for everybody. And I wanted to kind of talk a little about, what your strategies are and ways that you're looking to attract new users and bring new people onto the protocol to show them the various, the stable vault and the various ways that they can earn yields and stuff through your protocol. So wanted to talk a little bit about, how you're looking to attract new users and what you're excited about with kind of more people coming into the ecosystem.
Well, one thing I know that Big Wampa has been providing is he's been automating a lot of our process so we can be able to churn out new strategies much faster than at any other time. I think in the last couple of days, we launched an additional 15 strategies. And that's aside from being able to pull together strategies for Binky, which came recently. We launched, I believe, 4 strategies for them called folding strategies, where you basically take a single staked asset such as DAI, WBTC, Link, and our ETH.E, and you can stake it, and then we basically fold and maximize the leverage to maximize people's returns and rewards from using the Binky platform. We were the first ones to launch that on the network, and for us, it's really about being able to create a process and infrastructure to provide these services and tools faster, quicker, more efficiently, and with robust security measures. We've definitely hit a lot of scalability issues, and we love it. Like the pain of success, right? So we've been working to resolve internally to make sure that we can best serve the community as we continue to grow. And for us, that's the most important thing: making sure we provide the most significant opportunities to interact with the protocols on the network. We've had a lot of conversations with other partners, and I think people are going to be excited about a lot of the things that we're going to have coming in the next coming months. It's going to be unique stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Abe, was there anything that you wanted to add there?
Also, yeah, I would say also, right now as we're growing TVL, our revenues are also growing, and so we're looking to hire some new team members for a couple roles that we'll be posting over the coming days. So we're definitely taking advantage of this increase in engagement in Snowball, and we're going to be hiring more people to build out more features for Snowball. One of the things that we're going to be hiring for is designers. We plan on upping our marketing game. And, also just Jomari touched on this a little bit, keeping our partnerships healthy, and, continuing to develop them. We have, we just announced a partnership with the Avme wallet. And so what that is a native Avalanche wallet where once we fully integrate with them, you'll actually be able to use Snowball's product through their wallet without actually having to go to Snowball's website. So things like that, we're really trying to integrate ourselves with other players in the ecosystem. We're in talks with some of the new, some of the protocols that are coming over from Ethereum that Avalanche has given incentives to. And so, that's another area where we potentially can get some more users. And so, really the 3 things that I just touched on, getting more partnerships, integrating ourselves deeper into the ecosystem, hiring more talent so that we can build faster, and better things, and yeah, increasing our marketing.
Awesome. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of growth to be had there, and it's really exciting that your team is hiring and building out a bigger team to really build out those different connections and different partnerships as more of these protocols come on board, and we're able to build out kind of a larger ecosystem. So that's really exciting. So wanted to kind of talk a little bit about some of the other cool things that you've done in the past, and some of these interesting things that a lot of people have seen happening online or on Twitter. So one of the things that you did was the Sherpa IDO, and wanted to talk a little or hear your perspective a little bit on this kind of IDO and NFT launch, and what that did for your platform.
Yeah, I mean that was the Sherpa IDO was awesome for us, I think. Sherpa approached us and was basically, like, hey, we want to distribute our token in a fair way to people in the Avalanche ecosystem, and the way that we're going to do this is by giving some of our token to a bunch of different protocols on Avalanche, and having you guys launch it. And we just kind of ran with it. We were like, yeah, sure. Why not? The way that we determined how much we were going to buy was through a governance proposal. So the community voted how much Sherpa we wanted to buy to distribute to the community. And then they also voted on what the particular method of distribution was. And ultimately what we decided on was this distribution where basically we would just sell the tokens back to the community, so that Snowball didn't operate at a loss for that endeavor. And in order to make this fair, what we did was we created an NFT for each allocation of your Sherpa distribution. And you could purchase up to 10 NFTs per day based on your XNOB allocation, based on how much XNOB you had. And so, this cap made it so that whales couldn't just buy up the entire supply on day one. However, if you were a whale, you could still continue buying on the second, on the third, on the fourth, on the fifth day. And I think it went, something like 5 or 6 days, the entire distribution. And I think overall everyone was very happy about that. The people who, everyone had a chance to buy if they could. And that was our goal, to not just have a whale come in the first 10 minutes and buy the entire supply. So that was a success. And I would say, those kinds of things, we love doing these kinds of things, like the Sherpa IDO, because it allows us to provide an additional service to our users, and it allows us to really integrate ourselves into the ecosystem. And Sherpa Cash is going to be in the Avalanche ecosystem, being a privacy token and a privacy protocol, and we, we're happy to support that.
Yeah, that's really great, just to kind of build in the governance aspect of it at first, but then using the NFT in interesting ways to make sure that everybody in the community has a chance to be a part of this and have a more even distribution. So I think that was a really successful launch, and I saw a lot of conversation online about how there was a lot of positive reaction to that. So definitely a really cool and interesting method to launch that token. And we saw a lot of people talk about that, and there was some other questions too, just kind of about some of the intricacies of the platform. One of the things that a few people asked was, what is the Ice Queen, and what does the Ice Queen do? If you could dive into that a little bit.
The Ice Queen. Yes, the Ice Queen for us is really the Master Chef. Renamed. We became the Avalanche, and then a lot of things were named to maintain parallel or alignment with the theme of the Avalanche. So therefore, Snowball, with our Snowball going uphill, and growing and compounding larger. Ice Queen is Master Chef is responsible for the distribution of snowballs. Initially, that was the main reward contract. Now we have what's called the Gauge Proxy, and the Gauge Proxy is responsible for the distribution to the various rewards now, but it has to go through the Ice Queen. So the Ice Queen controls all rules over all snowballs in existence. Um, but yes,
Awesome.
that's Ice Queen.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool just how all the themes are matching together and kind of all within the same realm. So thanks for breaking that down. And then one of the other things too that I've seen a lot kind of pop up as questions from the audience and things being discussed around really everything in the space right now is security, right, and audits. And I've heard a few people just kind of ask generally, like, what are the different ways that you work behind the scenes and things that you've implemented into your protocol that keep funds secure and have audits that can make sure that everything stays secure into the future. So what are some of the security measures that you've taken around your platform?
Yes, security is absolutely vital to us. I want to also a smaller strategist for Pickle Finance, which is what I call our big brother protocol on Ethereum. A lot of our initial work was founded upon their contracts, which have been audited. So they're forks of the Pickle Finance structure and systems. So that means we have a globe or a jar, a controller, and then the strategy. That controller is responsible for the movement of funds between the deposits into our strategies and the actual execution of that strategy. That controller is controlled by the multi-sig, which is a 3 of 6 right now of community members that were generated through community participation. We're open to rotations. We periodically ask community members that have been engaged and are present and have at least a strong identity, with something to lose to participate. We have a time lock for pushing out to certain calls, as well as so forking of audited contracts, multi-sig to protect against nefarious activities from an individual, as well. And then the stable vault is forked from Saddle Finance, which is an audited protocol by three different firms, and it's the same exact contract. You can do a diff check to verify that. And then anything new that we create, we typically tend to spread around the Avalanche ecosystem. Like there's a Telegram group for Avalanche ecosystem partners that we posted to. We post our contracts inside the Avalanche Discord in the developers chat. We try to make sure that there's as much exposure and eyes on the work that we're doing as possible. Now that we are growing larger and scaling up, we can actually go about procuring more formal audits when possible for larger pieces of work. But in general, we iterate off of the strong foundations of what has already been battle tested. But the interesting thing is, by us growing and scaling so fast, we're scaling faster than any protocol it has on Ethereum. So we have hit actually limitations of smart contracts that other people have not hit before. So that's been an interesting opportunity for us to actually expand the space and build upon what was created in other places. So it's really exciting, and we take security very seriously.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it definitely helps having kind of the previous audits from those previous protocols, and then obviously the community involvement and being able to be 100% transparent with everything you're doing through these community channels. So that's really exciting, and like you said, security is something that's most important to everyone right now. So it's great to hear that that's top of your mind as well, and able to kind of keep everyone's funds safe and keep the users safe as we see this influx of new users coming in. So that's really exciting. Wanted to kind of,
as a quick interjection, one thing I do want to say,
yeah,
for us, one of the most important tools we believe is available to Avalanche community members is the use of the explorers, because that allows you to actually look at verified contracts and be able to kind of skip the regular user interface and directly interact with the smart contracts. We believe that's a powerful tool of verifying what a contract is doing and being able to look at the underlying code, because GitHub is perfect for looking at what the code is supposed to be doing, But the Explorer is perfect for looking at what the code is actually doing. So you can look at the transaction history, what's moving where and when, and it's really an important tool for really live auditing, live accounting for what protocols are doing. Not just us, but every protocol. So we really always advocate that people remember that the Explorer exists and that you don't have to be reliant on the user interface to use the beauty of Avalanche. You can directly interact with smart contracts with something like the Explorer or what's called Remix and other tools.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for jumping in there, because that's really important too, is that you're able to kind of use the Explorer to see actually what's going on behind the scenes and really check the transparency of everything that's happening. So very exciting there, and thank you for adding that in. We're wanting to kind of switch gears real quick again to looking into the future, and not just with Snowball, not just with Avalanche, but kind of with blockchain technology and DeFi in general. I want to hear a little bit from both of your perspectives. What's something kind of new coming to the space, a new use case for DeFi, or a new use case even for your protocol that you're seeing that maybe is just starting or hasn't quite hit yet? What's something that you're excited for as we kind of go into this next phase of the technology, and want to hear a little bit about some new things that you're looking at, whether you want to implement it into your platform or just something that's really exciting overall.
Sorry, I'm a talker, so I try to let gaps go,
No, go for it.
I had to
Go for
fill
it.
them in. So
Yeah.
there's a couple of things I personally am excited for. Avalanche recently launched their new bridge using secure enclave technology, which allows them to be able to really create a cheaper, faster experience for moving from other protocols into the Avalanche ecosystem. And for us, this is really interesting because as more assets are brought over from other protocols, that's going to increase the number of assets that have similarities or parallel, such as you're going to have ETH coming potentially from Ethereum directly, and you might have another ETH version coming from Pangolin. So you might have ETH.P and ETH.E, and having a way of reconciling the value of those assets that are coming across different bridges is going to become very important. So for us, it's going to be the stable vault as a means of facilitating those type of stable exchanges. So for us, we're really excited about the movement in that direction, because even right now, that's where we're trying to provide on ramps and off ramps. So like the S4D, which are stable vault for stable coins, it's TUSD, which allows you to off ramp into fiat. And back, Frax, which goes across the AnySwap bridge into the Ethereum network, and then USDTE and DAI.E, which goes across the AB bridge. So we've already started that, but we're looking forward to it when it's even more similar and like assets. We're very excited about the potential of those bridges. We're also excited about liquid staking, the venture that we're working on spinning off, because that's going to introduce the ability to pair AVAX and actually unlock the value of staked AVAX back into the ecosystem as liquidity, and then also pair that with other synthetics that might exist along with the value of AVAX. Or AVAX. I think I always say that wrong. But yes, those are two things that we know are coming that are exciting. Especially, but now that we have Benki and other an Aave coming and other things in this Avalanche rush, we know that there's going to be a lot more synthetic assets that have underlying values to them, and really supporting the connection of those to their base value is something we're really excited to see happening, and we know we're going to be a cornerstone of kind of providing that value to our users and community.
Yeah. Go ahead, 8-Bit.
I would say one thing that I'm pretty excited about just in in the space in general is how the community decides to tackle decentralization. And what I mean by that is moving to like a fully decentralized autonomous organization. And DeFi is definitely a buzzword these days. Decentralization is, but in reality, we're definitely very far from pure, true, 100% decentralized organizations. And to that end, we're still in this very early experimental stage where we're trying to figure out how that can be accomplished, how we can best move to an organization that really is decentralized. So, Snowball on-chain governance right now, and some of our previous major decisions have been made by the community, but I'm excited to see how we can, as a community, come to an even more decentralized organization. And one of the ways that I think we'll be able to do this is by automating a lot of the processes that go on at Snowball. And this is one thing that Big Wampa has been continuously working on at this point. One of the things that he's working on automating right now is our auto compounding strategies. So basically, whenever there's a new pair that needs to be auto compounded, the goal is to have that the entire process of creating that new auto compounding strategy completely automated, so that it minimizes the dev hours, and basically it's just there's not a lot of actual work that needs to be done for that. And I think those kinds of automations are really one thing that's going to help DAOs survive in the future. So that's one thing that personally I'm excited about.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense in terms of how we can continue to optimize and make those things more efficient so that these organizations can become more decentralized and not need quite so much of a team to do each thing. So definitely, we're all excited about that as well. And like you said, this is something that we're not necessarily super close to, but everybody's working towards in terms of this decentralized format. So yeah, really excited about a lot of these things that are happening in the future. I guess want to jump back to one more question in terms of anything that's coming up or brand new on the Snowball platform that you want to let the audience know about that they should try out or go check out on your site, or something that you have coming up really soon that everyone should be excited about. Just anything that you wanted to kind of plug here that's coming up that all of the kind of the new users coming into the platform can go and try out.
We are working. Big Wampa has been hard at work, along with Abominable and I and the team, on launching a new upgrade to our reward system, so as the allocation of snowballs can be distributed in a more dynamic, frequent sense. Basically, right now we have a weekly distribution, our reallocation on Sundays, and we're working on an upgrade that would allow that to happen as frequently as needed. So that's very exciting. We definitely have heard from the community that when we launch new strategies, we launch those folding strategies for Binky, which are single-sided staking, which we think are awesome and are being the DAI one is doing really well, but the WBTC, ETH, and the Link one, whoever those Link Marines are, you guys are missing out on an awesome opportunity with our single-sided staking folding strategies for that. I think our Stable Vault is great, but I think this upgrade to our Gauge proxy, which is the distribution mechanism for our Snowball rewards, is a big upgrade, and that's coming within this week, within the next couple of days. So be on the lookout for that. If you have assets on Snowball tools, you're going to want to be aware of that, because we're going to switch things up on you.
I would say also, as new protocols come over from Ethereum, be on the lookout for how we're going to be partnering with them. And then, new strategies that are going to be arising.
You're not supposed to give the alpha. You give the alpha.
And then I would say also, if you haven't checked out in the last few weeks, we recently upgraded. We recently overhauled our website. The previous one, I'll be honest, was not very great, but this new one I think is pretty solid. And it's 1,000 times more awesomer than the old one. So
I don't know. People liked our original.
Definitely head over to Snowball's
I don't know. People
website.
liked our original text-based version, 8-bit. Like, I don't know that text that where it looked like.
Well, the original
that was dope.
one.
I don't know if everybody know, but when we initially launched, we didn't have any UI. It was just smart contracts. And 8-bit had to write all the documentation about how to use the Explorer to use our product. And then community members actually created our very first user interface off a fork of VFAT tools. It was BCNA, who now is one of the core supporters and users and community members of Pangolin. And he created the first UI, and it was text based, but it worked. So if you guys ever use that, you're a real OG snowballer.
Yeah, the OGs just check out the website. New updates are coming pretty much like every day, every other day. A lot of them are stealth updates, so quality of life improvements. I mean, sometimes I'll be on the website and using a product, and something new will be there. That the devs snuck in overnight, and it'll be a minor thing, but I would say even if you checked out the website a week ago and you're having some issues, check it out again this week, and I think you'll notice that things are becoming a lot smoother, a lot smoother there.
Awesome. Yeah, really excited to see all the new improvements to the kind of the interface and the user experience there. So, kind of to wrap things up, going off of that, I guess this is a question for both of you. Just anything, last words, last thing that you want to kind of tell the audience here. I'm sure we have a lot of new people here that have just kind of been introduced to Snowball or to the Avalanche ecosystem. And so any last words, parting wisdom, things you want to share about the platform, and places they can go to follow you, interact with your platform, and be a part of the community. And then we'll wrap things up.
Well, yes, to start off, you can, I'm not sure if I can send messages if there's a chat in here. But check us out on Discord, on Telegram, join the conversation. You have our Twitter, I assume, if you're tuning in here. You can see that at the top here. It looks like we're at Snowball DeFi. Twitter is definitely the best place to get updates on Snowball. The other thing I would say is I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys who use Snowball, use the platform. I mean, 100% we could not be doing what we're doing without the community. The community here on Avalanche is absolutely amazing. It's one of the reasons that we decide to stay here and continue building. I mean, it really it's an awesome, vibrant community here, and we're excited to grow alongside it. I mean, it's really been an awesome ride here, and this is just so that everyone knows, this is really only the beginning. I mean, DeFi and in DeFi in general, moves extremely quickly, and 6 months in DeFi can feel like a very long time. But in the grand scheme of things, like we're really just getting started, and I think in the long term, Snowball is definitely in a position to become a big player in Avalanche DeFi and just DeFi in general. And I'm excited for what the future holds.
Yeah, snowball.network, snowball.network. That is the website. The newest UI is on beta.snowball.network. I am just like I had to leapfrog on that. The community has been fantastic. Snowball is is of the community, for the community, by the community. Every other community type of prefix you want to put on there. We are because you guys are. And one thing I do always like to advise people is like, as we go through the Avalanche Rush, the ups and downs, it's always important. Abominable says all the time to remember that the sun comes up tomorrow on good days and bad days. So remember to be conscious of your risks. Make sure that you put in what you can afford to put in. The opportunities are fantastic, but it is also important to maintain your mental and physical health. So Avalanche is great, but being healthy is also important. Um, DeFi seems 4 hours, 24/7. But you need your sleep, you need your rest, and we encourage you to to get it. A lot's going on. Time passes real fast in this space, so just be aware of that. And yeah, reach out, connect, build with us, create with us. You got the platform, especially our XNOB holders. If you hold XNOB and you stay for that 2 years, you really are position yourself for the long term success of Snowball and what you want and kind of your perspective, your advice, your direction, your contributions are vital to where we go next. So thank you. Thank you, Ava Labs, Avalanche, for allowing us this opportunity to talk to the community about what we're doing. And because there's fantastic things happening, and we are just excited about tomorrow and today.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. This space moves really fast and there's a lot going on. So, whatever you can do to get your rest and relaxation is super important. But really wanted to thank you two for joining us. Jomari, 8-Bit, Big Wampa, sorry that we weren't able to figure out the technical side of it, but thank you for joining us as well. And we're really excited about what's happening with Snowball. Been a great partner for a long time, and just excited to see what's building in the future for Snowball, for the Avalanche ecosystem, and where we can all take this together. So thank you all for joining as well. Of course, you can always find us across all of our social networks as well. Twitter here at Avalanche AVAX. You can join our Discord, our Telegram, join us across all of our different platforms. Check out all the things that we have coming up around the Avalanche Rush incentive program. And you can find out more information on our Medium site as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will be back probably in the next week or so with more Q&As and follow along, and we'll all build this together. So thank you for joining, and we will talk to everybody soon. Bye, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Fire con Dio.
Adios. See ya.